Hello and welcome to the Shadowfell for the level 27 edition of Purple is the Chosen One. We're sitting here in these rather foreboding looking surroundings, sat next to the obligatory campfire, although this one looks to be almost lit by something kind of supernatural, doesn't it? Nobody's about because we have gleefully put an end to the courtyard's occupants. I mean, that's one thing. We were talking a bit about the wilderness areas, weren't we? Certain builds lend themselves quite well to such areas, and the mix of stuff that we've got here, we've got a searing light spell-like ability that just goes out to an insane distance to, pick off nasty single targets, and then we've got all manner of crazy AoE we can use to wipe stuff out, plus the dragon breath. So great fun actually in the wilderness area. You can see I've slayed a few things on my way out here. And the nice thing, if you're adventuring on Reaper, you never have to bother about the spell point consumption in the wilderness area, knowing that every quest that you get to, it's going to be topped up back to full again. So I've been having myself a little fun on the way out here. We've done a couple of quests already in Wheloon, and looked pretty good, to be honest. I mean, we're what are we, 27? So the quests will be level 28 on Reaper. And the second one that I did, the one that ends with a load of archers, or in fact there's a load of archers, aren't there, in several places where the mini bosses are. What's it called, that one? The one that you go through the drainage culvert to go into. I can't remember what it's called. It starts off with a poor native of Wheloon sort of dying on you and telling you there's convicts in the tunnels or something. But some of the big fights in there, we got absolutely torn to pieces by the missile fire. It was eliminate them before they smash us up, and to be quite frank, I didn't do a good enough job of eliminating them, so the only thing that saved me was the strong heals that we've got. Otherwise, yeah, I think we stole one there, because we really should have been killed. Such was the intensity of the fire, and that makes you acutely aware that we don't have any real defense on this build. There's no blur, no lesser displacement or anything on the gear, and there's certainly no deflect arrows from the Vistani tree. Now I could have gone, what could I have got? That's useless. So we could have had 3 PRR and MRR there to help us. Maybe, I don't know. I think some people always go in and get some kind of deflect arrow feat on any build, and given what happened there, I can see why. Situationally, it's a real saver, especially if you're doing the higher Reaper levels. I was just on Reaper 1 there, but the higher Reaper levels, I probably would have died there. They would have really chunked me down. Having said that, let's not be too disparaging. We're doing okay. Offensively, it's going pretty well. I seem to be remembering to cast the Wellspring, so that's a start. Especially in these quests, most of these ones in Wheloon end up in a big fight at the end, and you really need your extra power. On the power side, we're not doing too bad in Reaper mode, and with the extra little help from the potions that we carry, we can be up over 600, I think, on fire. Now, if you consider that we're using all the meta magics, that is another, what is it, 150, it's another 300 on top of that, isn't it? So we're sort of in the 900 area for most of our big spells, which isn't terrible. Certainly not amazing, but not terrible. Epic Destiny wise, I I did put that point that we needed into the primal tree to equalise the charisma out, and then I've been, instead of going back in here, I do want to go back there eventually, but I just thought I'd take the time to get some of these enhancements to lower the spell cost a bit, so that I don't feel, you know, to have the shackles on, about throwing the big spells around, because that's our pathway to success, I'm sure. Especially if we're being, hit by a boss and there are things all around, as is the case in some of the final battles in Wheloon. If you're able to throw all these things in, that one heals you and damages all them, and this one just damages everything in the area. So you can keep the trash down at the same time as keeping the fire going on the boss. I think Ash gives a 15-second vulnerability, extra damage against fire to the target. So that's more than enough time to get all the big attacks off, recast that, because I think that's on a 10-second cooldown, and have them always vulnerable, extra vulnerable to the big fire attacks that we are using. So that's quite sweet. I'm still aware that single target wise it's not amazing, but I'm also aware that we've got this dragon breath thing now that against helpless targets it's been known to hit for in the mid 20,000s in crit, which, while certainly nothing earth shattering, it feels damn good for us. So I'm not complaining about that. I did a couple of quests in Giant Hold last night with our archer character, Yolanda, who showed me something new from this Dark Ranger build that I know little or nothing about, apart from the fact it doesn't have evasion, which I would be screaming about. I was looking at my character sheet just as a I don't know, a passing glance, and I suddenly noticed I had 10 more PRR than usual. I thought, what's this? And I saw this Stone's U thing in my buff bar, and apparently one of the enhancements in the Dark Ranger, they can give you, when they cast the camouflage spell, two PRR? Sorry, one PRR for every 2 character levels they have. She was a low 20, so she gave me 10. Which I thought was great. I think it's an AoE thing. So she would cast that once at the start of the quest, and anybody in the little buff circle, which is everybody at the start you'd think, would benefit from that. So I thought that was great. Feat at 27, it was Intensify or Embolden. I think our DCs aren't too bad for the level we're at. We are pushing 80 in Reaper, which I don't think is too bad at all. So I went with Intensify for some more spell power, and we've got that on all our big things now. The Enlarge, followed by usually Firestorm, but sometimes Bombard or Divine Wrath, is a very decent tactic and paying strong dividends. So I'm pleased that's bearing fruit. And I think that's about it for the waffle. There doesn't seem to be as much waffle to do in the epic destinies as heroic. I think maybe because there's less by way of gear changes and all that kind of thing. He's going to be sitting with the same gear now, I think, all the way until the cap. You'll recall I put some Kenneth crafted bits and pieces on at 23, and I think that's all that we're going to be able to give to him until he gets to the cap. I don't have anything, certainly no legendary versions of these gear, so he's just going to have to make do. But I certainly don't think he's slumming it gear-wise. He has a sentient weapon, albeit a beginner one, because it's not got too many slots in, but as we accumulate the lives, perhaps we'll get a few more of those open. If we can get to 5, as I said, that'll make a nice little boost, whichever life we do. That could be 3 of one set and 2 of another, and give us a nice little bonus starting as a new 20. So what do we have today? We have the Army of Shadow. Now I can hear Wagon's little voice in my ear. You know, if you can do Reaper 1, have a go at Reaper 2. Sorry, we'll have a go at Reaper 2. It's a bit of an ask, because I can also hear him saying, oh, well, the quest level is 28 and you're at 27, so... But let's give it a go, see how we go on. I didn't think we did too bad in the previous two. There were no deaths, and we looked, damage-wise, we looked pretty solid, so... I have my hopes. Now these big open areas where you expect to be attacked by a load of stuff. These are still nice areas for blade barrier, in my opinion. I know it stops at 15 blade barrier, but it's still been pretty good. So I'm sticking with it when we have time to. Oof, buggers. That's what I mean about the missile fire. I mean, we killed them reasonably easily, but look at the damage they were putting into us. Yeah, that's the problem. We can dish it out, but we certainly can't take it when it comes back our way. Watch this for some deaths from distance. Not quite as amazing as I wanted it to be, but still a decent illustration of just how far away we can hit from. I think there was a bit of lag there. I tried to do a dragon breath. I don't know what happened. Something ruined my moment anyway. That didn't quite go to plan either, did it? Didn't want to waste a big attack on him. Right, what can we do against you over there? Nope. Oh, crud. I'm trying to conserve points a bit. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should just be steaming in. Gatekeeper in the middle of all that, so as well as hitting the big thing, we want to be hitting the target too. I should have done Wellspring, that was a misplay. Got nothing available. Nice, okay, we'll take that. That wasn't too bad. So you can see there are times when I don't have the big attacks available, and I would quite like a little pew pew thing like the normal version of the Searing Light to just chuck in between times. Waiting for cooldowns. I really should have something else to... I just didn't want to waste the spell points when I knew he wasn't going to move. Yeah, that's a nice feedable for us. Okay, now what's going going to happen here? Oh, that's what's going to happen. Okay. I didn't expect them to be quite so attacking there. Okay, now can I sort of gather a few more around this thing and do two birds with one stone here? Yeah, that worked marvellously actually. Happy days. Now we definitely need a blade barrier here, don't we? Maybe even two. Let them all run the gauntlet down here. Look at that, look at the damage they're taking. In fact, it's doing so well, they're all lagging. When there's a nice sort of narrow passageway like this and things are going to be sort of brought up through, I quite like the blade barrier tactic still. That's my standard soundburst and firestorm. See the area of effect of the firestorm, it's just awesome. And the soundburst effect isn't that bad either. Area. What are you doing, sir? Now this could be a really good area to demonstrate our long-range bombard capabilities.
An angry figure leaps from the bed, furious at being disturbed.
Again, I should have put Wellspring and didn't. But crowd control more than held up there. I guess that would be a fuel for the argument against Wellspring. I've had it, you know, several good opportunities to use it already and haven't, and it's basically just going to end up being kept for the end fight. Which is obviously nice to have for the end fight, but it's got to be used for more than that, especially now I've upgraded it. Now these spell ward things I just end up trying to speed through here. What the hell with it, let's use it here, just to say that I've used it. Misused as well. Missed them all. Didn't miss them all with that one though, did we? Devastating. Let's push on, see if we can get to the next altar while the thing is still going. As soon as there's a little click, I'm going through here. Come on. There we go. 25 seconds. Go, go. Oh, dungeon alert. No, let's not mess with the dungeon alert. Ten seconds. Let them have it. Beautiful. Just about got the end of the wellspring, didn't we? Yeah. Happy days. Have some anti-shadow stuff, you. Now there can be a load that come down these stairs, can't there? What went wrong there? I don't think we need any shrineage, do we? I could have just disappeared behind the thing there, the mirror, and gone into the end fight, but I didn't want to create any dungeon alert, so...
A frigid mist drifts out of a dark and foreboding mirror. The Shade General turns to greet you.
Ah, you are braver than the usual sword father Cormyr sends against us.
Right, so far so good.
Alas, you are just as thou-witted. Don't you understand? You do not
I'll
face
keep an eye on the wellspring just in case he waffles on long enough for us to bring it back to be relevant.
hundreds of leagues away.
I don't think he's going to, is he?
But I can see it's no use trying to discuss grand strategy with a mere foot soldier. So why don't we skip to the part you do understand? The fighting.
Oh. And we do have wellspring coming. I think I'll save it for the worm.
Shade breaks off his attack.
All things that walk the Shadowfell serve me. As do the things that...
Okay, come on then. Come on, we're doing okay, yeah. Keep the ash going in there for the extra debuff. Yes. Now this is the dangerous part for my mind, when all these little things start popping up. Look at this. Now you see, I've died numerous times there thinking it's as good as done, and it hasn't been. And I almost died again.
Troubled by his defeat.
Still, we'll take it.
But Netheril will win this war. Or did you think that Wheloon was our only front?
And that was a Reaper too, wasn't it? Yeah, almost 1,000 Reaper XP there. Happy days.
The general slips into
Well
shadow.
done, Purple. And we didn't struggle badly on that, did we? Yes, we had a bit of a dodgy moment there at the end, but I guess Wagon has a point when he says if you can do Reaper 1, unless you're struggling badly on that, you can do 2. So perhaps I could have been more ambitious. I think I was too ambitious during the course of the leveling process. Every time I tried to raise the difficulty, I would go straight to 4 instead of trying 2 or 3, and that's why I got hammered back down into place, big style. So had I gone for 2, I think I could have squeezed a few more Reaper points out. The target with that is to try and get just another 3 I would like, because the 13 in here is fine for what we want, and we just want basically the casting stat and the DCs in there, and then we would dearly like 21 in here. So we just need those 3 more for that all important plus 100 hit points and 1 saves, just to give us that little cushion in Epic would be lovely. Right, I think I'm right in saying the tone has changed out here, hasn't it? Now we've neutralised the area, we've gone to a softer, like yellowy thing. It's not so shadowy anymore here, is it? So happy days. we'll go on and finish the Wheloon chain, which should hopefully take us up somewhere near 28. And then there's just the storm horns to go to complete the sagas that we've got in preparation for Evening Star. We'll be doing the level 27 Delira's Tomb as well. Now, I think I may have done a Delira's quest in the heroic levels. Maybe one of you could remind me if so, and which one that was, because I don't want to repeat the same one again. But it might be nice to have a go on the epic, given that our build is particularly suited to fighting the undead. Might be nice to go in there and start doing some double damage against some of these things. We'll see. Okay, I think that's about it for now. I think we're going okay still. Thank you very much as always for looking, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.